So welcome everybody to our NECAP members meeting for September 12th, 2024. We want to thank our live studio audience here in the building tonight and everyone that will be watching this on video later. I am Cameron McCaslin. With me today are Sam Burns and Eric Lowy. I want to make sure that we welcome all of our 68 new members for the year 2024 who have joined NECAT. I know we've got some people in the building tonight who have taken very recently their Production 1 class. Can I get a show of hands? Who just took Production 1 in the last 2 months? There we go. So I'm hoping I'll see you in Production 2 in the not too distant future. We got one coming up in just a couple weeks, so you'll hear more about that in a little bit. Again, we want to thank NPL's production services team in the booth. Chris is back there tonight helping us put the show on. We want to thank Chris, Forrest Eagle, and his whole team who's been helping out. If you've been over at NECAT the last few weeks, you may have seen them as the main library's been shut down. They've been lending a hand over here when they can. It's been really good to have them over, and again, just to kind of talk a little bit more about some of the great things that are happening at Nashville Public Library. We want to invite people out to the new Donaldson branch of NPL. And actually, let me back up before I'd say that. I got to go down the rundown because Eric's got everything in order for us. We've got the courtyard concerts that are happening every Tuesday at Church Street Park, right across from the main library. Even though the main library branch is currently closed right now for air conditioner repairs, the concerts are still happening every Tuesday morning. These are free concerts. You can see all the great artists that are appearing. If you get a chance to get down there, absolutely go check them out. I believe they start at, someone tell me, 10 or 10:30 a.m.
Chris, do you know when they start?
11:45. That's why it's great to have Chris in the booth with us tonight. Okay, moving forward with that. Again, we want to talk a little bit about make sure the new Donaldson branch, which just recently opened. I had a chance to get over there about a month and a half ago. Is anyone from the Donaldson area in our studio audience tonight? Well, I'll tell you what. Take a day, go out to Donaldson, have a great meal, stop by the library, and check out the new things that they have. There's a great art exhibit. You're going to see more about it in this video. Let's play it for you right now so you can get a sense of it.
Just like watching it go from being just an open field to when we walk the dogs back there every day looking like in and seeing a little bit more and a little bit more done. It's just stunning.
It's beautiful. We both actually made a comment that walking in, it felt like that first day of school feeling again. That just like brought back that fun memories, and it was really exciting.
First and foremost, the building itself is beautiful, so come visit the building. But in addition to that, it's a LEED Gold building, so that includes geothermal wells for cooling the building, solar panels. We're going to be composting, so we're thinking about the future and the sustainability of the library. We also have 3 program spaces, 6 study rooms, 2 pieces of beautiful public art. The list just goes on and on.
I love everything. I love the crowd that came out. It's just a beautiful thing to show the support. The community is excited and backing this great effort. We're here. The exciting day is here.
It's really hard to find the words because these are such incredibly beautiful and momentous occasions. Some people get this opportunity once in a lifetime, and to see the joy that this creates in the community that's why I do this job every day.
So again, we want to congratulate New Donaldson for that opening. This video is airing on NECAT daily at this point. And again, we want to invite you all out. Again, like I said, Uncle Bud's is like right across the street from there if you want a good piece of catfish. I can't endorse it because we're on public access television, but it's pretty good. I also want to announce Larry Gier, the Division Manager of Informational Systems at the Nashville Public Library. Larry, if you stand up for us real quick. Larry is leading the charge here at NECAT now. Let's give a round of applause for Larry. Many of you in the last 2 years had the chance to meet Lee Booley, who had been over. She has gone on to new things. Larry is, I say joining us, but Larry has been with us really the whole way through, helping us set up all this great stuff here in the studio and gets us online for all these great live events that we've been doing over the last few years. He's got a lot of great ideas kind of moving forward that you'll be hearing about in the months to come for sure. But make a point tonight, meet him, and introduce yourself, because he'll be around a lot more over here at this point. We also wanted to talk about a new program that we have running on NECAT called NPL Means Business. This is a show that National Public Library came to us with a event that they do monthly, where they basically take small businesses and they teach them how to do all the different types of things. They were basically doing this on like web calls and doing events at the different public libraries. We've made a version of this for television that we've shot a couple of episodes now that has just started airing. So we wanted to show you a clip for that and for the kind of everything that they do. And this is now airing on all 3 of our NECAT networks. So go ahead and roll that one, Eric.
Do you dream of opening your own business?
Do you have a side hustle that you want to take to the next level?
What if I told you that your local library has free resources to get you started?
Because at Nashville Public Library, we mean business.
What is NPL Means Business? It's an initiative that seeks to create a more diverse and motivated entrepreneurial ecosystem in Nashville, with the library being an essential player in helping Nashville citizens discover and realize their dream business.
So what do? We offer classes, book discussion clubs, print resources, business-related databases, as well as a book a librarian service, which allows entrepreneurs to make appointments with staff who can direct them to the resources they need. Classes and programs are delivered through Nashville Public Library, as well as in conjunction with community partners, including the Small Business Association.
To find out more, visit your local library location or go to library.nashville.org.
Fantastic. So the great thing about NPL Means Business is if you're thinking about doing any kind of small business, they can help you get started on that. But again, when it comes to film and television, I know a lot of you are starting production companies, you're doing shows, you kind of want to find ways to help, organize and do those kind of things better. They can even help with that. So I would say reach out to them if that's something that you're interested in. We want to go now to the studio report, just kind of get, everyone an update on how we use this space. It's like we've got members here trying to book the studio. It's like sometimes we've been full up a lot the last few months, and that's a good thing and a bad thing depending on which side of the calendar you're on with that. But I wanted to let you guys know this year we've had over 197 member produced sessions in 2024. That's individual times that people have come in and actually used the studio space. We've had 2,100 unique visits year to date. That's different people that have walked through the front door of this space, to whether it be as an audience member, as part of producing the show, all the different types of things that we do here. We've had 559 new run episodes of television, and that's you guys. That's you turning in the episodes that you're making, and we're putting those on television right now. We also want to invite everyone in our audience tonight to join us for a documentary from Don Clark called This Is My Song, Life After Dialysis. We're actually going to be screening this for the first time in this room on October 20th at 6 p.m. You can see Miss Brenda Ivy Robertson. We've been working with Miss Brenda for, I guess, about a year and a half now, kind of capturing her story as she's gone through dialysis and different things like that. It's a really wonderful little documentary that Don has put together. If you don't know Don's previous work, he did a hot chicken documentary that we air here at NECAT. If you ever watch Three's of Pain, which airs the sitcom, he's in that. Really great filmmaker, but he's showing it the premiere of his movie right here in this room. So come out October 20th. It'll be a great opportunity to see a different type of production in this space. We also had 4 brand new shows that popped up. We already talked about NPL Means Business, but I also want to shout out to Jenny Gandoe for Grow, Marita Hill for The Read, and Robert Alsop for Gone Country Corral. These are all shows that within the last year have come through classes. They started to put their shows together, and they have turned them in and put them on the air or coming in the next couple weeks. So you'll be able to see those on NECAT for the first time. I kind of want to get into a little bit of the not so fun stuff, the rules and regulations thing, just to remind you guys. Nashville State has recently installed some new security cameras. And what that means is they have come by recently and said, hey, we want to make sure that no one is pulling up onto campus without us knowing about it. So Nashville State has a policy. They don't want anyone driving up on campus without letting them know. So they have a policy in place where if you need to unload equipment or food or all the different types of things you need for your production, they do allow for it. The protocol for doing that is you need to call ahead before you ever come onto the campus with your car. Either come into the door and talk to one of us, or give us a phone call ahead of time and say, hey, we want to come up on campus. Nashville State will move the barrier for you or allow you to do it yourself. Drive up and unload your car, and then you have to take it back to the parking lot and leave it there. This includes on weekends. They have a new policy. They're going kind of no limits. So at this point, if anyone were to break that policy and you don't do that, it would lead to the possibility of you getting a ban and not being able to use the studio for a period of a couple weeks on that. So again, you can still do it. You just have to let us know ahead of time. Going to the other thing, we want to talk about booking times for the studio, for the editing suites, and for all the different rooms in here. Just make sure that you call ahead and let us know that you want to come in. Say we love whenever you swing by and say hello, but sometimes it makes it harder if we don't know and how to plan for it. We've been doing some rearranging, and we want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to work in the way that they like to work. So just let us know ahead of time that you want to book an editing suite, if you want to book for a podcast, if you want to come in here and do your television show, whatever it may be, or if you just need help from Sam or Eric on working on any of the things, your audio, or if you want to have them help you edit. Let us know ahead of time, and we'll make time for it, but we do need to schedule that ahead of time going forward. Also want to let everyone know we have just we've extended our stay here at Nashville State beyond January. I know a lot of people have had questions about kind of what's coming next. What I can tell you at this point is that Nashville State and the mayor's office have been in discussion. They've let us know that they do plan for us to be here, but we don't have all the details to share just yet. I'm hoping maybe at our next member meeting, we'll have some more information for you, but just know that we will be here beyond January when we expected, and all of the updates after that, we'll know, just as soon as we know, we'll let you know, and we're super excited about all that. We want to thank Dr. Jackson at Nashville State, and of course, Mayor Freddie O'Connell's office for helping put all that together. Give them a big round of applause for everybody on that. It's good to have a good partner with Nashville State for sure. That's everything that I've got. I'm going to pass the mic over to Eric, and he's going to tell you a little bit about some of our classes that are coming up and some gear updates.
All right. So coming up, we have Production 1. We have 3 more for the rest of the year. We have October 12th, November 2nd, and December 7th. Those will all be on Saturday. They will run from 10 a.m. to about 6:30, 7 p.m. Each of those days with an hour break. If you've already taken it and want to come back through to get a refresher, I know Dan has taken it like 30 times at this point, and he says he learns something new every time. So, you can always come back through. Otherwise, if you got a friend who wants to come and take it, let us know. We have Production 2. Those are going to be September 26th and 27th and November 21st and 22nd. That is a 2-night class. Both nights run 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. If you have your technician membership and you want to start producing your own show, this is your next step in doing so. Or I should say, you can go online and book that. I know one person said they were having trouble, so we're going to figure that out before we leave today. But you can do that, or just let us know. We'll help you get that booked. Editing class. We have one coming up this Saturday, actually, September 14th. It is a full class. Unfortunately, we only have 4 computers that we can teach editing on. But if you have a laptop and you want to bring it in and take the class, we can get you in there. Otherwise, the December 14th class is available. These classes run a Saturday from 11 a.m. till about 6 p.m. So there'll be about an hour break in there too. Green screen and lighting. We have one more for the year. It'll be October 13th. That is a Sunday, and that runs 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. In this class, we'll cover everything about lighting, so basic lighting setup, different lighting instruments, lighting gear, things like that. And then we go into the wonderful world of green screening. So if you've had the pleasure of doing that, you'll realize how frustrating, how frustrating, but rewarding it can be to get your shots looking perfect. But yeah, we go over all of that stuff in that class. And again, if you want to sign up, go online or let one of us know. We want to say a big thank you to Brookdale Senior Living and Nathan, I don't know how to pronounce that name, so I'm not going to say it, for donating gear to us. They have done a few donations to us, and it's been awesome. They just donated an Allen & Heath QU16 console, which is a really cool digital console. The plan with that one is, I know we've been talking about building our podcast studio. That is going to probably be our console for in there because it's a great console for that. They've also donated a TV monitor with the stands, some audio mixers, wireless microphones, and a whole slew of other equipment that we're we're getting inventoried and getting into circulation for you guys to use. I know this is a big one. Every year we get to put in our budget for for CATV Special Committee and what we're going to be spending out of that. This is money. Just show of hands. Who lives here in Davidson County? Who has cable? Yeah, I don't. If you have cable here in Davidson County, you pay a tax on that, and a small portion of that tax comes back to us for equipment for this studio. So yeah, that's a cool thing. But we're going to be buying some gear. We've talked about getting a more live production gear for remote productions. We've been doing a lot of those, and that's been a lot of fun. I should show you guys. So we got some new consoles coming in, cases for all of that. And so that's going to be a great one. We are buying a jib. Cameron said, hey, let's get a jib. And I said, you're crazy. And then we looked and we're like, this isn't that bad. Let's get one. This jib, it will extend out to 22 feet. We're probably going to leave it built at about 12 feet. So it fits in this room. So we can use this on productions. That'll be an awesome tool for us to have here. A cool one that we're going to have for everybody who wants to check out gear are two-way radios. We'll have a set of 6 of them. So if you're working on a production and you need radios, that'll be great. And again, for when we are working on our live remotes, these will be very helpful. I know in our Chinese New Year one, Cameron was always trying to get people, and we were sending text messages and phone calls and stuff, and radios would have been much more helpful to get a hold of certain people. We also got a lot of music equipment and audio gear. This is Sam's favorite thing. Sam went through and picked out a bunch of guitars and new drum equipment and stuff. So we'll have a bass, an electric guitar, and an acoustic guitar with amps and all the peripherals needed for that. So if you're coming in here to do a music show, you have that at your disposal. So you don't always have to bring your own instruments, but you got that for you. And then we got some new lighting gear. We got some LED 2K equivalents, so Fresnel lights. These are just big old lights that produce a lot. So they can be used here in the studio. If you want to check them out for your productions, you can do that as well. We are also, this is a huge question we get asked all the time, is if we have a hazer. So we have decided we are going to get one of those that will be available for different productions, and we'll have fun with that, doing some cool projects on that. All right, make sure I hit all of my pieces. Yes, I did. All right, I'm going to turn it over to Sam, and she is going to give you an update on her stuff.
Hello. All right, so we're going to talk about the audio class just to start. So the last one of the year is going to be on November 3rd. That is a Sunday. We'll start at 1 p.m.
1 a.m.
1 a.m. class.
We'll go till probably about 8 or 9 p.m. We will break for an hour for a meal around like 4 or 5. In this class, we're going to talk about like basic sound terminology, how the human ear works, different types of microphones, what they're best used for. We're going to learn how to set up and mic a drum kit as well as some other instruments, and find out a bit more on the X32 than we go over in the Production 1 class, and then learn the basics of Pro Tools and some different effects that you can do with that. This class will help prepare you for anything that you may encounter in the music field. Once you go through the class, you're going to be certified to help with concerts that we plan to shoot in studio next year on our show called 30 Minutes in Nashville, as well as some concert film shot on location around town at multiple venues. So if you want to come through that class, let me know. We definitely still have some space. Speaking of concert films shot on location, Paradise is a concert film produced by NECAT with the help of members J.R. Robles and Carter Young, as well as myself. It features local artist Brista Maroney at a festival he created, highlighting other local artists at Brooklyn Bowl. And here is a trailer for it.
Ain't getting younger, there's no time to waste a conversation. Kings and queens of the sunset generation, generally working hard and needing up a paid vacation. Around the sun 100 times and they want explanation. Sun soaked sinners trying not to get caught. What's the use in being what I'm not? Let me tell you something, when you get to my age, love is all you got, so I mean it when I say that. Honestly, I wanna give you every little part of me. If the time comes back and takes me with it, I hope you know it's not love if you can't let go.
hopefully that should be coming out pretty soon. And then next we have Kneecap Pet of the Week. Starting next week, we're going to begin featuring our Pet of the Week. We would love for all of our members to fill out the survey. If you scan that QR code up there, and you're going to fill out that survey. It's going to have some info about your pet we'll ask for, and then a good picture of them. For a week, they're going to run as slides at the top of the hour on all 3 channels. In the near future, we will be accepting video submissions to create a 30-minute show. So start filming cute things your pet does. And to be clear, I do not just mean dogs and cats. If you have a fish or a snake or a chicken, if you have a pet rock, I would like to see it. So, send us those. This footage is going to be used also in our editing class to teach people how to cut together videos, music, transitions, and graphics. So it'll be really helpful for that as well, aside from just being adorable, Cool. And then that was all of them. Great. And then Celebrate Nashville. So on October 5th, we're going to be filming Celebrate Talks for Celebrate Nashville over at Centennial Park. Celebrate Nashville is a cultural event highlighting people from all walks of life in Nashville. Myself and Cameron will be there, as well as our friends at Production Services, like Chris, who's helping us in the booth tonight. We're going to need a few more volunteers to help with setup, stage managing, camera ops, and teardown. You'll be needed from probably about 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. that Saturday. You'll get some great in-the-field video production experience. So if you would like to volunteer, let one of us know, and we'll put you on the list.
Yeah, and if any of you had a chance to volunteer, we did Chinese New Year earlier this year. It was just such a cool thing to be a part of. Celebrate Nashville we did last year on a smaller scale, but I think it's like all of these live events and these things that are happening in town. They're just such a great thing to be a part of. So if you want to get some production experience outside of the studio, it's a great thing to volunteer on, and again, just to be a part of kind of what's happening here in town. So I encourage you for all that. The same thing with all of these classes that we're talking about. I hope for those of you who haven't done production 2 yet, I'm looking forward to meeting you and seeing more of you in that class with myself. But let's give it up for Sam and Eric, say for all the classes they do on the green screen and the audio classes and all that. I will tell you that if you came to NECAT and you've taken your production 1, you've taken your production 2, and you thought that's all I need, I'm going to go make a show, take the time and take these extra classes. You will get enlightened in ways that will make your shows better. Even if you don't plan on using green screen, you'll learn all these little nuances that will make you better. Again, there's no charge to it. Once you become a member, you just sign up for the classes, and we basically every month there's a different type of specialty class that we offer, and we want to be able to do more of that. So I kind of want to get into at this point question and answer time. Be able to answer any questions you have for us about things that are going on at NECAT. We'll try to answer them to the best of our knowledge. If we can't give an answer, we'll try to go back to the powers that be, get an answer, and let you know later. But we also want to give you an opportunity to talk about things you need for your own shows. If you want to talk about your show, or if you have a shoot coming up that you need volunteers on, or if you just just have anything that you want to discuss with that, we ask that you step to this microphone that's right under the light, just so that the people at home can see and hear you. But I'm going to ask for a volunteer if I don't get someone real quick to step up. Anyone want to kick us off? Yeah, come on, Dan.
We love Dan around here. We like picking on him just a little bit.
If you can flick the button on the front of that for me.
Yep. Dan has a show called Heartland Liberty that shoots here every Wednesday night, except for the last one of the month, which the TSA takes.
I didn't have a question. I just like being on TV. Where's the camera?
Over there.
Okay. I know you're going to be moving studios. I had heard maybe in the old Donaldson Library. Is there any other progress on that?
We don't have any updates on the building just yet. All we know for now is that they have struck a deal to extend our stay here. We don't know for how long. We hope to find out in the not too distant future. They still are working towards the goal of a new building, but we don't have any updates from the last. And so I promise you, no one wants to know more than I do at this point. But as soon as we know, we're going to let everyone here know.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you get new equipment, we've talked about it before, please consider IFB so I can be in contact with the guys back there. And there was another question that came up. Oh, yeah. When we get a new place, I would love to have more than one studio. I know you've talked about having smaller studios for podcasts.
Yeah.
Be nice to be able to schedule more than one because we're already tight. So thank you. And to all my fans,
Hey, Dan, I'll let you know. Hey, Dan, I think some of that stuff we had donated has an IFB in there, so I'll let you know if it is in there, and we'll get that hooked up for you.
Somebody else. Question. Show you want to talk about. Patricia, why don't you come tell us about High Heels Cabaret? Yeah, step to the microphone, please.
He knows I like to talk, so he gets me up here. It's funny, when I first came in tonight, I peeked in his office, and I started giving this pitch to this man in there. Didn't know that he was in charge of the library, and that was... Oh my God, it was Larry back there. But anyway, I had a question. You mentioned something about the musical instruments.
Yes.
I think Sam brought that up. But anyway, can that be used in a production to emphasize something? Can any of the music sounds?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thought process behind having musical instruments here, we've had a drum kit now for a number of years because it's hard for drummers to get equipment to and fro. But this is a music city. There's so many wonderful musicians that live in Nashville. We kind of figured if there were guitars and basses laying around, people would probably pick them up and play them. And so we wanted to have it available. And we also understand musicians are sometimes particular about the instruments they like to play.
Yes.
So they're more than welcome to bring their own. We've always had the capability for them to do that. But at this point, we'll always have an amplifier. We'll always have a bass. We'll always have a guitar that they can, grab and play a song together. So we're kind of hoping that it'll bring up some more spontaneous things. But absolutely, anyone is welcome to use them and say that you could use them as a prop. Even if you know how to play guitar, you can pretend it's television. So, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to my High Heels Cabaret show. It's a variety show, so I like to have those kind of opportunities. If somebody's doing a read out of a book, then I think sometimes the music behind can really make a difference in the presentation of that. So that's why I asked the question.
Sure.
But High Heels Cabaret is something that I had an idea. I wrote a book. How long have I got?
Yeah, plenty of time.
But anyway, I wrote a book called Hello Self, and it is really about discovering who you are as a human being. And because we have more talents than we think we have, until you get the opportunity, you don't really know who you are or what you've got. And so I created this from that book to talk to people. I am a coach by my profession. And I would be able to talk to people and then help them actually start to look at where are your talents? What is it you like to do? Even if it's only been a dream at this point, it's my job to help you create something you want to do with that. So we have pantomime, we have reads from Shakespeare, we've had people that are artists. I actually asked a woman that is an artist, and they wrote a poem to go with that and then put music behind it while she actually painted a picture on the show. And we're going to be auctioning that picture off to raise money for nonprofit, maybe even for NECAP, I don't know. But anyway, so that's what the variety show is about. And High Heels came about because years ago, I wrote a book called Wearing High Heels in a Flip-Flop World. And it's really not about high heels at all. It is a metaphor for getting out of your comfort zone and looking at who you are and it's just taking a higher look at yourself. So it's not about shoes at all. However, that's followed me for the last 20-some years, and so I had that brand. And when I came up with the idea, my friend said, that is great. You need to go do that. So I didn't know how to do a TV show. I didn't know how to do any of this. But people here, and that's what I was telling Larry, is that people here show you how to do all those things. I just asked Sam tonight for some kind of, to help me look at a reel, to go behind a reading that I have and that I want to do. So anything you dream of, ask them and they'll tell you if they can do it here. But the High Heels Cabaret, and if any of you want to do a performance, I've had people just read from a book they wrote or just read from a book. A woman the last show told her story of how she came to Nashville and how she lived in a horse stall because she's got a horse. She lived in a horse stall as a way to make the transition because she needed something for her horse. So I just want the world to know that we're human beings and everybody's got a story. And my gift is that I believe that in every story, there are lots of gifts and lots of glories. And this is a chance to get out there and show who you are. I was just talking to Chris, he was here a while ago, and the world will pigeonhole you. What do you do, Patricia? Somebody called me one day and said, are you a consultant or a coach? And I said, yes. They want to divide and put us in a box to say, and then that's where you stay the rest of your life. No. They don't know who I am. I don't even know who I am. I'm discovering every day. And those that work with me know that's true.
Accurate statement.
Can I do this? May I do that? But I think that we're at a time in our society, and I know I'm going way beyond this, but this is my High Heels Cabaret show. We're at a time in our society where our soul is dying for expression because we have been put in boxes or we've been put in categories of culture, and we're dying for expression. And my job and what I love to do is help you find your expression. I just had a client came to me the other day, and she's in a CPA right now. And I said, what do you want to do? She said, I don't know, but I don't like what I'm doing. And so we just brainstormed a while, and she's going to write a book, and she's already made a title to it. And I'm going to get her on here when she gets a chapter of that book done and start telling about it. Because unless we get on a show like this or one of the shows that NECAT's producing, unless we do something, we never make a move. We just keep talking. Talk, talk, talk. And so it's time for action. The soul is screaming for action. So get out there and do your thing. And come to see me, because I'll help you create something for High Heels Cabaret. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity. And thank you, guys, for letting me come. Okay.
Fantastic.
Good.
Thanks, Patricia. So I would say in Nashville, better a horse stall than a career stall, right? Watch out. So I know we've got some new members in the audience tonight that I haven't had the chance to formally meet. Can I get one of you to volunteer and come up and tell me about one of the shows that you're trying to make? Any one of you? Yeah, come on. Just let our audience at home know your name and tell us about what you're planning on making here.
My name is Inga. Do we do last names here?
Yeah, you can.
All right, Inga Headland. I want to do a late night talk show vibe that is like, I don't really know how to do this camera thing yet.
You can look at us, that's fine.
Yeah, I was like, is that okay?
Yeah.
So I want to do where like the vibe would kind of be like Wayne's World meets an AA meeting. And it's just talking about anything and everything. Nothing's off limits. People could sign up through my website to be guests. I would pick a topic, and it could be like dogs, and you could give your hot take on it. But the one rule is you have to be nice. Like, you can't be a dick. And because it's my show, I could enforce that. And it would be, I actually did have a question, because one of the things I wanted to maybe do is do it in front of a live studio audience, even if that's like 3 people who show up. Is that allowed with the new regulation?
Which regulation are you
The
speaking
one
of?
with like on campus, where you have to like sign people in, or where you were talking about with the barriers.
So you can absolutely have a live studio audience. They are welcome to park in the parking lot. We do live studio shows all the time. The trick is they're not allowed to pull their car up to the front door. They can park in the parking lot. You just can't pull up and park right beside the studio.
Yeah,
and leave
sure.
your car
Okay.
there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent. And then, do you guys? And this might be like is swearing allowed on here?
Yes, I would say the public is allowed. Say this is public access television. It's cable.
Yeah.
It is allowed. We
Sound
always
fun?
mark it as time. You'll learn about this in production too when you come take it, which you can and can't say on television. We just follow FCC guidelines.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Because like I don't want to be like a basic B with some of these questions, but I don't
Sure.
know all the rules. Do any of the shows have? I mean, like, could you do call-in capacity?
So it's one of those things you could do call-in capacity. The problem is we don't do a whole lot of live production television. We do have some live shows that we do.
Yeah.
We do allow for it, but there's some extra protocol that we have people go through
Okay.
to make sure that they can do that. But we talk about some of that in production 2 class as well. So whenever you get there, we'll get you through it.
Sign up for that class.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah, come on.
Hello, everyone. I'm camera. So, anyway, my name is Tanisha Douglas. I am a nurse midwife and a minister. And I've been to the studio once, and you guys were so helpful. So I just want to give a shout out and say thank you. Sam and Eric were there the day of my production, and they were amazing at helping you get through it. So I would just say get started. They'll help you, because trust me, TV is not the area that I'm coming from. But my show is called Don't Forget Your Pearls. And what I would like it to be is a resource of wisdom for women from young adulthood through menopause. And then we also want to take a holistic approach of empowering women. So that's mentally, physically, and spiritually. So I am a healthcare provider, so we're coming from that aspect, but I also want to approach empowering women, their mental health, their physical health, all of the above, their spiritual health, all of the above. So that's what my show is about. So my question, though, is... So I definitely am going to take more classes for sure. But in the meantime, editing is where I'm at in getting my show out. So I like to launch around October 1st. But just resources for affordable editing until I get up to speed with editing.
So since you have shot, what you can always do is you can call in and book a session with Sam or myself, and we can help line up your project and get you in the direction that you are going.
Okay.
You can also take the editing class, and we do have the computers in the editing bays that can be used. So if you want to come in and use those, call ahead. We can get you on the schedule, and that way you can use that to edit. If you're looking for just learning outside of the studio, there's so many great resources on YouTube. We can always share those. All right, there's a few that I've looked at and used just to like freshen up on like the new versions and whatnot, and I'm happy to share those with you as well. So, anything else? Hopefully that answered your question.
Yeah. And I would say that it goes to the point of why we do ask everyone to call ahead and sign up for stuff, because if you need help from us to edit, we're here for that. So, we'll have time and we'll sit with you and help you get through the early parts of that, because it can be super scary when you're first starting out, for sure. But you will pick it up. I'm certain of it. But that's why we have people call ahead. That way, if Eric needs to be back there in the editing bay, he may not be able to be back here right now, because sometimes we're at capacity. And so we just want to make sure we know what you want to do. So just keep us in the loop of that, and we'll make sure we'll get you there.
Yeah. So those will be my next steps. So I'll help with editing.
And I would also say that, coming to events like this, saying this out loud, you may find someone in this audience tonight that is willing to help do an edit for you. I can't guarantee that by any means, but there are people there, as well as on like the Facebook group that we have publicly, who you could reach out to and see if there's anyone there who might be willing to help you out.
Yes, because I will say I'm willing to this first 2 shows I'm willing to outsource.
Sure.
Sure. Understandable. Sure.
But that, so if anybody does any editing, please follow up with me. I we can work something out. But that was, and then my other question, I think that was mainly. So coming up, I know what I was gonna say. My next question was, I have production again coming up on September 28th. We probably could use a couple extra camera/volunteers. So if anybody is interested in, maybe 1 or 2 as additional volunteers would be helpful. So if anybody is interested and wants to come out, please follow up with me. I'd love to add you to the team. We'll take care of you. We're good people. And then that is pretty much, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for your time.
Fantastic. Thank you.
And I just want to point out, if anybody's seen that nice, comfy couch out front, Tanisha's.
Anybody else want to volunteer before I start calling on people? I'm going to ask Mark to come up to the microphone. Mark with the Tennessee Screenwriters Association. Mark has got some upcoming events with the TSA that I'm sure he would love to talk to you about, as well as plug his show, which happens the last Wednesday of the month. They shoot Page to Screen here, which is a great conversation between screenwriters in front of a live studio audience. I would say even if you don't have an interest in screenwriting, but you want to see how a live studio audience is shot, theirs is a really good example to come by and check out. So, Mark, tell us what you're doing.
Yeah, my name's Mark Nacaredo. I'm the executive producer for a show called Page to Screen. We've been doing that show now for a little over a year. And our focus is on, it's sponsored by the Tennessee Screenwriting Association. And basically, every episode we try to do an interview with a professional screenwriter and get tips and tricks from them on how people can, if they're interested in making a film themselves, it has to start with a script. Without a script, nobody else works. So we try to give them, the TSA has been meeting since 1988 in Nashville. So we're just doing this. Our current episode that's airing features a man named Howard Klausner, and he just wrote a movie called Reagan that's screening all across the country, and he's had several hits. He did a movie called Space Cowboys with Clint Eastwood and Tommy Lee Jones and a bunch of other major actors back about a couple decades ago, and some other independent productions. But so anyway, yeah, Page to Screen airs at dates I can't remember right now because they shift.
Don't look at me.
Yeah. 3 times a week. And
check kneecatnetwork.org for showtimes.
And yes, there you go. Good plug. And we're really excited because I think it's the next week or the week after, we're going to do our first remote production. Mm-hmm. And we're going to be taping multi-camera shoot at the Nashville Film Festival. The Nashville Film Festival does a pitch competition where people basically go up and try to pitch their movies to movie executives. It's kind of like a Shark Tank type thing. And I've been to it before, and it's actually a really cool experience to see that. And we're going to try catching that on tape and turn that into some episodes. And then my other shameless plug is that the Tennessee Screenwriting Association, separate from Page to Screen, is going to be putting on a conference at Nashville Film Institute. Actually, it'll be 2 days. The first day will be at Nashville Film Institute, and the second day will be here, November 16th and 17th. It's called ScriptCom, and it's all panels and workshops for basically 2 days. So if you're somebody that I have a great idea for a movie, and how do I do that, and what's that all about? Here's your chance to learn from industry pros like Howard Klausner. He's going to be there. We've got a whole lineup of professional instructors, teachers, and people who work in the business that will go through this and help you write a screenplay. And again, that's November 16th and 17th. We already have tickets on sale. Scriptcom.org is the website.
Fantastic. Thanks. Yeah, TSA has been such a great collaborator here at NECAT with Page to Screen. And again, just give people opportunity. Our goal is to make sure that no matter what you want to do in the film and television industry, whether it's a talk show or a narrative project or a documentary, we give you space to do that. But there are all these other great organizations that have come to us, and we try to put people, with them as well to learn how to do the things so they can come back over here, write the script over there, come over here and make it in our studio space. So definitely get with Mark, on that and get involved. Anybody else have questions or want to talk about their shows? I know we've got some people for the first time here tonight and also some longtime members. Pleasing everybody. Lisa, you want to talk about the shows that you've been working on? Lisa's been editing quite a bit lately.
So, actually, I've been editing on I've done two of Patricia's high heel cabaret shows, and those are hour-long shows. But the first one, it was like when she was up here, everything was completely new. So even figuring out how to edit her show was new for me. But we have these amazing people here, Sam and Eric and Cameron. Everybody's helped me to help her. Everybody helps each other here. But I have been here a member since 2004. And over the years, mostly I've spent time on Jesse Goldberg's shows. He had Songwriter Show, The Jesse Goldberg Show, Mind Your Own Music Business, City Talk. So throughout all of these years, I've been working on his shows, mostly technical directing and editing. But I started out way back when just coming on doing cameras. And then I learned how to do audio. And then I learned how to technical direct. And so, but it's just always been, and there's been a lot of changes over the years. But even with all of the changes, and we're going to have, definitely we're having new ones, and I mean, big time probably coming up in the next year or two. But you don't have to be really concerned because everything kind of moves forward. Everybody's so plugged into this organization that everybody works together, and it's great. I mean, I wouldn't have been here all these years if it wasn't. But yeah. So anyway, but really, you all have been great. So thank you.
Yeah, so it's really cool to see someone who's been here 20 years. You say some people that are here for the first time tonight on that. Again, like, we want you to be at NECAT as long as you want to be here and make as many things as you want. It's a learning lab. It's a place you can fail. I tell people all the time, we won't, cancel you because you don't sell enough Coca-Cola. So it's just like, it's one of those things like you're allowed to come in here and make the thing that you want to make. And we really highly encourage that. And again, like, Nashville Public Library is a place for free speech. They really do champion what we do here at Public Access to make sure that you, the people that live here in Nashville, have a space to come in and speak your mind and be on television right beside all these other channels that have, the things that they have to say. So do you have anyone else in the audience tonight that wants to step to the microphone and ask a question or talk about their shows? It's okay if you don't want to, you don't have to, but yeah, Dan, go ahead.
First time I got involved with the NECAT was, my daughter's 43. I think she was like 12 or 13, and she was part of the crew. So I've been involved long ago. They were way in a different building and all. I just want to say, we had these big old VHS gigantoid tapes back then. The team that you all have here is better than anybody I've ever worked with. And I've worked with scores of people. I just want to say that. Working with Eric and Sam is just great. They know everything, they help with everything, and it's just a pleasure to come in and work with these two. At least Sam. No, they're great to work with. Right. So thank you, and you're good too. Yeah. We work with them more directly. I just wanted to say that for whoever's listening, they're great. They deserve everything that they get. So thank you.
Yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Cameron, I should let you know, I just make everything up when I tell Dan, so.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. Please.
Hi, I'm Sky. I am a performance artist and a visual artist and a producer. I am really interested in just the community here. I have a long period of my life that I've spent doing production. I'm relatively new to Nashville. I've been here for a couple of years now. I'm just looking for other people who are interested in production and in media in storytelling, and in building community around that. I think that what they're echoing about this being a bastion for free speech is really important and vital, and it's a space where we can live non-algorithmically, and I think that is highly underrated in the way that we interact with the world. I can remember when I grew up, when we had scheduled things like, you would watch a certain show on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. or whatever it was, and I think that there's a little bit of things that are lost in linearity and the way that we think. And in philosophically, the way that we interact with the world when everything goes into the same digital box. So I'm just interested in that thought pattern, exploring that, and also producing some shows here in the studio, utilizing the studio space, as well as bringing in some of the productions that I've created and airing them on public access TV. I think it's just super neat. One of the shows that I have that I'm very interested in is called Camp Songwriter, which is a traditional Nashville songwriters round. You have three folks, but a little spin on it is you're around a campfire. I'm envisioning 3 logs and kind of a semicircle around a flickering fake campfire that has a little bit of camp magic to it. Myself as a little bit of a campy, magical host with a little bit of I'm making the fire, and oh, hi there, didn't see you, that we grew up with in the 80s and 90s, and then having people transform into a forest kind of setting to present their song, and then come back to the campfire to tell their story, and do that in around. Just trying to take something that's very straightforward and done a lot, and put my own campy, mystical spin on it.
Yeah. That's super exciting. I think community access television allows for so many different unique voices and places that traditional television wouldn't allow for certain things, that you're probably wanting to do. But in this place, you're going to be able to be encouraged. We want to see you make it. We want to see the version that you want to do. And then I am a true believer that once you put that out in the world, you will find other people that will enjoy it, because there are more like-minded people than you know out there in TV land. We hear about it because we get letters and emails and phone calls going, hey, I saw this television program. What was that? So I encourage you, please join us and,
Cool.
Make TV.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Cheers.
I just want to give a plug for Sky. He just took production 1 last Saturday, and he's the quickest person I've ever seen pick up the TriCaster. I was like, okay, what do you need? And he's like, hold on, let me get these lower thirds going. And I was like, whoa, lower thirds? What are you doing? And he just jumped in there full force and was killing it there on the TriCaster. Yeah. It's probably the quickest I've seen somebody do that. So if you're looking for somebody to run technical director, hit up Sky. He's going to be great for that.
Yeah. Anybody else? We got just a couple of minutes left here on our time. I want to make sure we give everyone the opportunity. No? Okay, come on.
Hello, my name is Taylor Berryman. I'm the host of The Poptimist with Taylor Berryman. It's a podcast mainly about music, also one part self-help, and also about business, because a lot of musicians, really at the end of the day, you're business owners. So me personally, I'm a bass player, I'm a producer, then I do the podcast as well. I am going to be doing a Halloween special. I'm hoping that I'm able to get everything aligned to where we can film it here. I am going to be having music segments that are filmed on a separate day at my friend's studio. So in regards to plugging stuff, I know there are rules. Am I allowed to talk about his studio and recording there and other things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So in production 2, we go over kind of the ins and outs of what you can and can't say, but it's not so much about what we don't want you to do as much as how do you get the information across in a way that does follow the rules of what public access is here for. It basically boils down to they don't want you doing any traditional commercial type things, but there are definitely ways you can talk about different events, different types of music, and how you feel about all that. So when you come through production 2, and I hope you do that very soon, we kind of walk you through that, and then I'm here all the time to kind of help with the ins and outs of that. If you ever have a question about like, hey Cameron, we're talking about doing this, can I run something by you? And kind of you say, I want to say this, or how do I need to say this to make sure I can go through it? That's exactly what I'm here for, to make sure that it all comes across. Okay, so yeah, we'll get you through that part of it for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I'll definitely be doing production too. Another question I had, and I don't know how this would work. I do have some sponsors lined up for the episode. So I was thinking like maybe even when we film here, I just don't mention it. And when I release the actual podcast episode, I can drop in everything about the sponsors. Like what is
we do allow for sponsorship of shows, and there
Okay.
are ways for both corporate sponsors, local sponsors, all those different types of things. It's just more the way that you can phrase things. You can't ask anyone to buy anything. You can't phrase something as if it's the best. Like again, going back to Coca-Cola versus Pepsi, you can't say Coca-Cola is better than Pepsi.
Sure.
But you can talk about, like, if you were reviewing those two products on a show, you could talk about your preference in the matter. It's just all in the way you phrase it.
Okay.
So yeah,
I gotcha.
there's ways to get through that.
Cool. Yeah, the Halloween special is coming October 23rd, and that's The Poptimist. I have over 200 episodes. I've interviewed a bunch of different people, including Gordon Raphael. He produced the first two Strokes albums. Nick Movshin, he played bass with Amy Winehouse, the Black Keys, and a bunch of other people. I had on Grace Bowers. She's kind of blowing up on TikTok. But yeah, super proud of the show. Check it out, The Poptimist.
Very cool. Look forward to that. Anybody else?
I do have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Patricia. Well, step to the mic just so everybody at home can hear you.
I didn't realize that we could put our podcast on. I've been interviewing a lot of filmmakers that have put out some great film.
So-
And on my podcast, Hello Self, and I've got them all out on YouTube and on my website and all social media, but I didn't know we could use them here. We can?
So we have set up a space in the past to record podcasts in this studio space, as well as a separate room in this building. We encourage all of the people who are producing podcasts to do it on video as well as audio, and we cut it as if it were a television show, like whether it be a desktop talk show or things like that. But we will give you the audio back as in podcast form as well for you to put in any place that you would like. We obviously don't run podcasts on television because it's an audio format. It's not, it's like people don't want to stare at a black screen for the most part. But what I have realized in the last few years, if you look at the way that most of the most popular podcasts that are running, whether Joe Rogan is an example only in the sense that he's everywhere, it's like he learned very quickly that you can do the version that's on your phone that you listen to in your car, but if you tape it and put it on video, you can also release it on places like YouTube, on television, on TikTok, all those different places. So whenever we develop podcasts with our members, we encourage them to do it with both television in mind, as well as taking their audio and putting it out in the different podcatchers that are out there.
But if I do it and I've got a video and audio both, I've got a producer out of Atlanta that does that for me. And it goes on Radio X out of Atlanta. And also it's on all social media, and it is audio and video. And then I give that, Arlia Muma is my producer, we give that back to the people, and then they use it to promote themselves any way they want to. But it is video and audio, and it is on television
There
down
absolutely is a home for that here at NECAT. Again,
Oh,
the same,
my
all
God.
the same rules apply with any other television show, but we absolutely have homes.
Because I might be able to get sponsors like that when I didn't know that. Okay, well, I'm learning something. Thank you very much. Thank you for that question, too. 'Cause that helped.
Okay, last call. Anyone else have a question or a thought? Yes, go ahead.
So when we're with editing, is that part that we can separate the sound? Like,
Go ahead and repeat it just for the
sorry,
microphone.
I just wanted to talk about,
Yeah.
because that is my goal as well, to produce a video and a podcast. So I would like to separate my sound and release that on podcast, and stream and things like that. So
it's super easy.
So just
when
to
we get
separate.
in there, when you go to render it, you just don't render the video part.
Okay.
Totally easy. Yep.
Thanks.
I will say too, it's like I had a really interesting conversation. We had some people come by last week that were deaf and hard of hearing, and they were talking to me about ways that we could just be better at television, and for people who can't hear. And it was real, it's like it was a lesson for me, but it's like just the way that we are descriptive for people who, if you can't hear, how do we show it on television? But also for the people who can't see, how can they hear it on television? So I would encourage anyone in the way, whether you're doing a podcast or just a video, think about the words that you choose in that, because if someone can't see it, do they know what you're talking about? And if they can see you, but they can't hear you, are we being descriptive in those ways? Very eye-opening. I'm looking forward to what's going to get built out of that myself. But just with that thought in the room, so I just want to say that loud. Again, last call. Anybody else have anything they want to say or think? Okay. Well, I want to thank everyone for being here. Again, we want to thank Chris back in the booth with us tonight. I want to let everyone know that our next member meeting will be December 12th of 2024. That will also be our holiday party. So we encourage you all to come out in your best Santa hats and Christmas sweaters, whatever it may be. We will have some refreshments that evening as well. So put that on your calendar. Again, all the classes that are coming up, get with Eric and Sam tonight if you want to sign up for any of those classes. I hope to see all of you in production too here in a couple weeks. And again, you've got the room for a little bit longer. If you have any questions for us after the fact, we'll still be here. For everyone watching at home right now, thank you for being with us as well. If you have any questions, you can always visit us on the web at kneecatnetwork.org. For any questions, you can email us here at the studio. Thanks so much. See you next time. Good night.